Hi, I'm Jay, and today on Jay's World Kitchen, we're making cornbread. Cornbread is another perfect side for summer barbecues, and it's such a simple recipe, and this particular one is absolutely delicious. Let's quickly talk about the ingredients. For this recipe, you're going to need 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal, a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 cup of melted butter, 1 large egg, and 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. You're also going to need about 3 tablespoons of vegetable or olive oil. I prefer vegetable oil, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You're also going to want to, before you get started, preheat your oven to 400 degrees and get yourself a nice 12-inch cast iron frying pan. It's the best thing to make this in. As you start your oven going to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to take 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and I do recommend vegetable oil over olive oil because it doesn't smoke as easily, and you're simply going to put that in your pan and make sure that you swirl that around so that your pan is well oiled and that oil is nice and hot. You're going to throw that into your oven at the 400 degrees until you are ready to throw your batter in. So about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure that that pan is super warm. This is pretty straightforward to put together, and so you're going to grab yourself 2 bowls, a larger bowl for your dry ingredients and a smaller bowl for your wet ingredients. And you want to keep them separate until the very last minute. But you're going to start off with your 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, followed by your 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal, your salt, baking powder, baking soda, and sugar. And you're very simply going to just stir all of that together just until it's well mixed and distributed evenly. And now you're going to do the same with your wet ingredients. As I said, we're going to put it into a smaller bowl. I'm going to start off with our buttermilk, our egg, which we've beaten slightly, and melted butter. So we've taken our 1/4 cup and melted it slightly and just mix them all together. And now our frying pan should be ready. And just before we take the frying pan out of the oven, we're going to mix in our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients in one foul swoop like that, getting as much as we can in. And you don't want to overmix this, you just want it to be incorporated completely, but you don't want to beat it or anything like that. You just want to make sure that it's a nice smooth batter. And now we're going to retrieve our frying pan from the oven. Remember to use oven mitts because that oil is going to be hot. And you're simply going to pour that into your pan. And throw that back into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, but you want to check it at about 15, and we'll do that and we'll see how we're doing. And at 15 minutes we're going to check with a toothpick to see if anything is coming off, and it's not. You just want that top to turn nice golden brown before we take it out. So we checked our cornbread at 15 minutes and it's now 20 minutes and the top is nicely golden brown, so it's time to take it out of the oven. and beautifully golden brown all the way across the top. The smell is incredible. Keep your gloves on, because what you're going to do is you're going to take a plate, simply turn it over the top of your pan like that, and very carefully flip it over. And once you flipped it over, there's your cornbread. Beautifully golden brown. And I can't wait to sink my teeth into some of that. And now it's time for my favorite part, which is always tasting. Some nice butter on top there just to melt into the cornbread a little bit, and let's give it a taste. That beautiful crispiness and the softness and the buttery richness of that bread is just something else. It is honestly one of the perfect sides for just about anything that you can throw on your barbecue. You have to try this recipe, and if you did, let me know how it turned out. I love to hear your feedback. I love to hear what you did with my recipes. If you enjoyed this recipe, please remember to hit that like button and the subscribe button. And remember that you can support this channel from as little as $5 a month on my Patreon. That link is below in the comment section, as is my link to Facebook and Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week.